Hey there, welcome back to the At Home Dive YouTube channel. As always, my name is Joey and today we're in the kitchen making something fantastic. Today, I'm going to show you how I like to make calzones at home. We're going to focus on a few of the things that I find super important, such as making sure that they're not watery or runny on the inside and how to achieve that. So sit back, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right in. So the very first thing that I do whenever I want to get set up to make calzones is I put some cheesecloth in a strainer inside of a bowl. I like to use a strainer that makes sure that there's a gap underneath. That way we can assure that we have somewhere for the liquid to go. And then I'm gonna take my ricotta cheese and I'm gonna place it right into the cheesecloth. The reason we're gonna do this is so that we can make sure we get out any of the excess moisture that's in the cheese itself, because we don't want watery cheese, because that's how calzones become runny and watery on the inside whenever you go to cut them open. So we wanna make sure we avoid that. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this in the refrigerator and we'll come back this evening and check on it.
Many hours later.
All right, friends, we are back, and as you can see here, the ricotta has settled quite a bit and it's lost quite a bit of moisture. It's still soft and wet to the touch, but as you can see, there's no liquid. And if we remove this from the strainer, you can see there's quite a bit of liquid in the bottom there, even though this didn't look wet before. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna strain this out, and I'll be right back. So if you've seen the how to make pizza video, over here you see that we have pizza sauce. Essentially, this is our homemade pizza sauce recipe, and we're gonna turn this over medium-low heat, and we're gonna let it simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes altogether. And if we go back over here, this is our cheese, and as you can see, it's nice and structured now. It holds its shape quite well, and there is no liquid around the bottom. And that lets us know that we've removed quite a bit of moisture, which is gonna end up being enough. And then we also have our dough. This is the same exact dough as when we had our how to make pizza video again. And if you want to see the video on that, click in the top right corner now. And we're going to divide this into half and make 2 medium-sized calzones. So let's get going. So like I mentioned, we are going to start by cutting our pizza dough right in half. And now, just as you guessed, we're going to take a little bit of flour, stretch the dough out, and make what resembles a regular pizza crust. So now we're gonna grab our ricotta and we're gonna go ahead and put just a pretty generous portion right in the middle here. You can put as much or little as you want, but I'm gonna load mine up quite well. And I'm actually gonna spread it around just to cover the entire bottom half of the crust here. And I like to push it towards the outside. So keep your edges clean, about 1 inch all the way around, and push it to the outsides. Now you can go on with the rest of your toppings. I'm gonna follow that with quite a bit of caramelized onions. These are always a true favorite for me. I have quite a bit of low moisture mozzarella cheese that I just grated, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that right in the middle as well. Make sure you use low moisture mozzarella cheese, because if you don't, it really defeats the purpose of draining the moisture out of your ricotta, and then that also is gonna lend to you having really wet calzone whenever you open it. I'm gonna top that with a good bit of large pepperoni, and then a handful of fresh basil. All right, now, you guessed it, we're simply just gonna take the top and fold it over the bottom. We're gonna connect that about inch or so there that we should have that's clean and dry. And I like to go around and just press it with my fingers. So you can do this 2 ways now. Now you can take a pizza cutter and you can go around the outside and cut into the pizza dough, giving it that nice even cut that's gonna seal your calzone. Or you can roll these edges together. And that's why I'm gonna demonstrate that with the other one. But either way, you wanna make sure that you take a sharp little knife and cut you a few little air vent holes right in the top of it. And that's gonna allow the moisture to escape whenever you bake the calzone. Now we're ready to go into the oven. So I am gonna take a little bit of cornmeal, coarse if you have it. I'm gonna throw it onto a sheet tray and I'm gonna try to gently lift this up. Make sure it doesn't stick and try to lift it with about as even a force as you can and place it over onto the cornmeal tray. I'm gonna use this like a pizza peel because I don't happen to have one here in St. Kitts. So I'm gonna slide this from this tray over into the oven. So let's go. The oven's preheated to 475 degrees, and we're gonna check on the calzone in about 15 minutes. The calzone's in the oven, and as you can see, our pizza sauce has simmered down now and is gonna be our marinara dipping sauce for the calzone itself. It's not quite ready yet, but as you can see, it is quite a bit thicker and is gonna make a really nice sauce for us. So we're back on the counter here, and I'm gonna throw down another good pinch of flour, and I've got the dough, and we are going to roll it back out, and I'm gonna show you how people roll the edges of their calzone as opposed to cut them with the pizza cutter. So we're gonna start with the regular pizza dough, just like we did last time, and everything's gonna be exactly the same right up until that point.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So the only difference this time is if you see this edge that's pushed together, we're not gonna cut it with the pizza cutter. What we're gonna do is we're simply gonna go to one side and we're gonna fold a corner over. And then we're gonna go around and we're just gonna fold the entire thing and roll it back onto itself. And when we do that, we're just simply gonna stretch the dough and pull it right over its own edge here. And that should leave you with a slight handheld apple pie look, if you will, around the outside where it's all rolled together. And then you're gonna do this one just like the other one, where you go behind and you cut the vents in the top. And now this one's ready to go in the oven as well. All right, friends, our sauce has been on for about 25 minutes now, and as you can see here, it's nice and thick and rich. So we're gonna go ahead and turn it off. And our calzone's been in the oven for a total of about 15 minutes now. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it out and see how it looks. There's our calzone. So we're gonna let it cool down for a little while. We'll cut it open. We're gonna get the other calzone into the oven, and we'll be right back.
A few moments later.
All right, friends, we are back. We're gonna go ahead and pull the second calzone out of the oven. And we'll go ahead and transfer it over to the cutting board and let it start cooling down. The first one here is cooled down quite a bit. We are gonna wait until the second one cools a little while before we cut it open. You can see it actually looks pretty darn good. Nice, even color here. The second one's not quite as evenly colored, but it looks really good still. And you can see that the filling has settled down a little bit, so it's not trying to push out like this one is right now either. So hopefully here in a few minutes this will cool down and the filling will kind of fall just a little bit and it'll all look a little bit better, and then we'll be ready to cut these open and eat. While ours cool down though, we are gonna opt into brushing them with just a little bit of melted garlic butter. Give them that extra pop and shine that we're all looking for, as well as that slightly salty, garlicky, buttery richness. This is of course optional, but it's a really good option. So as I mentioned, we are gonna continue letting these cool down though, and we will be back in a few minutes.
1 eternity later.
All right, friends, well, we've waited long enough that the first calzone should be cool enough to cut by now. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna take a knife and literally cut it right in half and take a look and see what we got. And if you see that, we have a nice, rich, cheesy calzone, and it looks fantastic. It's not falling apart and it's not wet. And that's exactly what we had hoped for. So I'm gonna throw it on a plate with our fantastic marinara sauce, simple but wonderful, that we just made. And it is dinner time. All right, friends, so that wraps us up on how to make calzones at home. Comment below and let me know how yours turned out. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe. Have a great day.